ahead. Cindy Adams tells us about all those extras the stars get.
There's nothing in my refrigerator but the light. And maybe a leftover or two. And I don't know about you, but a lot of times I just can't bring myself to eat those cold leftovers that have been in the fridge for a couple of days. You know, you've got them too. It seems like it'd be a lot easier to just throw it out and then, you know, just have to deal with it. Well, our next guest is going to show us how we can turn those cold leftovers into one great meal. Please welcome the author of The Leftover Gourmet. Is that what it is?
That's right.
Please welcome Jessica Weiss.
Hi.
The Leftover Gourmet.
That's it.
Oh, come on. How'd you come up with this book?
Well, actually, I was approached. I was doing some environmental work, and what we've been trying to do is make people aware of the fact that our landfills are actually 12% food wastes. And that if we just utilized our leftovers, we would be able to feed over 18 million people in this country who are not currently being fed.
Wow.
So, also because there's a lot of transportation problems with getting that much food. Every mouthful that you take is about 1,300 miles worth of transportation.
We also understand you can save families some money as
right.
well. So let's start cooking, and let's talk about this as we're cooking.
The first one we're going to make is jambalaya, and putting it together is about less than a minute, 45 seconds max.
Now listen, time is very important to us busy women, so I'm going to keep an eye on time as we go through
All right,
this.
so you're going to help me here. First, you start out with a can of stewed tomatoes. Just cut them up and get them warm. You can throw those in and start.
Now these are things that are usually left over. What are some of the most common leftovers you find in a refrigerator?
Rice. Rice. Everyone goes to Chinese food, and this is the one thing they always bring home. Dump this right in there.
Okay.
That'll absorb some of your juices. Often, the one person leaves one slice of meat.
How many of you have got this in your refrigerator?
Right? Who's going to use it? It's not going to make any kind of sandwich that's edible.
Right.
All right, let's just whip it out here. Cut it up into a couple of pieces.
This is actually very pretty, too.
Very
For
colorful.
some leftovers, you know.
There you go.
Okay, I'm keeping an eye on time here, Jessica.
Toss that in.
All right, your ham.
A couple of chicken breasts left over.
From 2 days ago. How long do these last, by the way, in your refrigerator?
Well, if they're stored well, if you can zip them up and get all the air out, you can use them for probably 3 to 4 days afterwards.
So when the air gets to the food, that's when you got to worry about it.
Right, that's when you want to zip out all the air possible.
Okay, so you got your ham, your green peppers.
Yep,
tomatoes.
You chicken. You can actually add any kind of meat you want to this. That's the great thing about jambalaya. It's basically any kind of vegetable, any kind of chicken, anything you want. Okay, there you go.
And a little leftover seafood you could throw in there too, right?
Absolutely. There you go.
How long would you keep seafood in the refrigerator?
Not long. Seafood is the one thing you want to get rid of pretty soon.
So this cooks a little while.
There you go.
How long? How long does it take? How much time?
About 15 minutes after you've put it all together, it's ready to go to the table.
Hey,
there you
can't beat that. Okay, show me something else.
Okay, this is one of my favorites. This is a very fast one.
Okay.
How many times everybody makes salad and you always have something left over? It's never really enough to eat, but it's still there and you feel good about putting it away, but you're never going to use it.
All right.
This is one of my favorites. We make gazpacho out of it. Gazpacho is just a marinated vegetable soup, right? So you take your marinated vegetables, throw them in a blender.
Okay.
There you go.
What else do you add here? Okay, you're done about 20 seconds.
There you go. Add any kind of tomato-based juice, V8, Clamato, anything like that.
Ooh, a little spicy V8 would
there
be
you
nice
go.
too.
A little salt and pepper to taste. And that's it.
Invite the neighbors over that never know they were having leftover hors d'oeuvres.
There you go. And you can always throw in fresh vegetables if you want to perk it up a bit.
Oh, that's great.
But there you go.
And what's the sour cream for?
This is for you to taste it with.
A little dollop on the end?
A little dollop.
Okay.
Here you go.
And just drop this on the top?
Drop it on top.
There you go.
Here you go.
And what do I taste it with?
Here you go.
Have a little cracker or something? Oh, just like this? Oh, like a soup?
Yep.
I see. Not bad.
It's good.
Not bad at all. Very good, because there seems to be dressing in it already.
Right. That's the whole point.
That's really good.
Okay.
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 That didn't take much time. What else?
Let's see what we have in here. Could you open this up for me?
Oh, this looks like something in my refrigerator.
The unlabeled.
Oh, the unlabeled. What is it? But there's no mold on this one.
Ooh. It's meat.
It's meat.
It's kind of dry.
Leftover from Mom's meatloaf last week, remember?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know.
now what do we do?
I really don't think you'd be wanting to make a sandwich out of it. It's pretty dry, pretty tasteless. All the barbecue sauce in the world is not going to cure that.
Right.
One thing we love to do is make a pâté. It goes from gross to gourmet instantly. Right?
From gross to gourmet. I love it.
Okay? All you do is you take your meat and you cube it up and stick it in the processor.
Can I add some onions?
Add some onions.
You always have onions left over.
That's right.
Especially like if you're cooking something and you only use half of the onion. What do you do with the other half, right?
Another good thing is if you have a sauce on your meat, throw that right in because it's usually a butter-based sauce. You usually want to add a little bit of fat.
Now, something I was reading in your book, too, is you said that when you store things in a leftover and you have meat, don't store it with the juice and the gravy.
That's right.
Why?
The reason is you want to keep bacteria out of your food, and bacteria goes where the liquid is.
Okay. Come on. Time is of essence.
Here we go.
You know something? I'm the kind of person, Jessica, that if it's not quick, I'm not going to cook it.
Okay. Whip it up. You add a little parsley for some color. And that's really all there is to it. Whip it up. You put it in a crock afterwards. You stick it in the refrigerator. And it settles overnight, and you get a pâté.
Wow.
Which I'd love for you to taste.
You want me to taste this? It was better last week when it was meatloaf. Let's see. I'll just take a little bit. I'm not big on pâté.
Okay.
But I get the idea.
Right. It's good.
Not bad.
Okay.
Now, Jessica, what's this with the coconut?
Okay. This is a dessert. Everyone always has stale bread left over. How many people have people in their family who just kind of leave the end absent-mindedly and don't use it?
Hey, you want to make a sandwich, Jessica?
What you do is you take your stale bread, just cut it up into some pieces here, throw them into...
What is that?
This is condensed milk. Everybody always has condensed milk, right? You guys have a little bit in your house. Wrap it in the condensed milk, and then you put it in the coconut, toss it around, and put it on your cookie sheet at 375 for 8 to 10 minutes. Bake it up, and you have a great dessert.
Oh, now I'll taste
coconut
this.
crisp.
You tell me a kid watching TV wouldn't like some of these? An adult watching TV would like some of these.
There you go.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what do you have this? Because I always, like if I have ice cream, there's always some left in the bottom. Not, and you know, you get that freezer burn business going.
Right.
How do you
One thing I love to do is you take the ice cream and you let it melt down and add some preserves, apricot, strawberry, raspberry, something kind of colorful, and then you can just kind of drizzle it over whatever your dessert is, and you have a nice, sweet, kind of a creamy topping for it.
Well, time is always of essence to us busy women, and these were some great time-saver pieces of advice, and on the celebration of saving time, why don't we give some watches away? The Pulsar people have come up, they said, you know, donate some watches to some of our viewers, a beautiful man's watch and a lady's watch here. We're going to pick a couple of lucky audience members. Our audience members at home are just as important as the ones who show up here in the studio. So we've got some pots of good luck here. One from this, why don't you help me out here?
Okay.
Okay. This is in the studio audience, so shake a pot and pick a name. Simone Kaprowski. Now, Simone, we want to point out that you're not just getting one watch. You're getting 2 Pulsar watches, one from the ladies' jeweled collection, the other from the men's sports collection. And let me tell you something, our audiences at home are just as important as those who show up here in the studio. So, Jessica, let's say we pick somebody from home in this magic pot of ours here. Not a leftover pot, mind you.
Here we go.
Okay. How about Julie Paul from Rockford, Illinois?
Right.
Well, look at you. I don't believe this. Our leftover gourmet is even wearing a Pulsar.
That's right. Had it for 3 years, and I love it.
You do? They work well?
They're perfect.
Like these watches?
Wonderful. Waterproof, does everything for you.
Okay, well, our audience members are going to enjoy them, too. Now, if you would like to try some of these leftover turned gourmet recipes that you saw here today, plus a few extra recipes we'll throw in for you, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Leftover Magic. That's care of Attitudes, 34-12, 36th Street, Astoria, New York, 11106. And so, congratulations to our audience members. Thank you so much for turning my refrigerator into a gourmet shelf. And we'll be right back.
Lifetime presents
Pulsar?
Pulsar.
Pulsar por este.
I think he wants your watch.
But honey, you gave me this watch.
Money. How much money?
Pulsar también? Sí, Pulsar.
Pulsar por esta.
What, is he kidding?
No.
Some things in life are worth far more than they cost.
No thank you.
Pulsar. There's no time like it.
Nice job.